Welcome everybody to Box Park in Liverpool. It is weigh-in day. Tomorrow night at the Exhibition Centre we have a world title unification top of the bill. Natasha Jonas defending her IBF welterweight title against WBC champion Ivana Habazin. Lauren Price defends her WBA version against Bexcy Mateus. It looks like, on the basis of the build-up and yesterday, that Stephen McKenna and Cutler will be exchanging season's beatings, and we have appearances for Vidal Riley, Mark Jeffers and a lot of other talented young fighters on the undercard. Joining me for the weigh-in, which will get underway in 10 minutes or so, I've got Matt Macklin and also Joe Gallagher. Joe, good to see you as always. Busy. Really? That was supposed to sound completely convincing, but it is always good to see you. Top of the bill, Natasha Jonas. You've come all the way with her. It's been a bit of a wait, though, this year, hasn't it? You had the fight against Mayer in January, terrific fight. What you were always going to want off the back of that was another big one. And I guess, in a way, you've had to keep her going this year, keep her going, but it's here now.
Yeah, like listening to Natasha yesterday, she's happy to be fighting. Last time she fought here, started the year off brilliantly. A fantastic win, Michaela Mayer, the scalp, the big name you want on your record. And then this was to be Natasha's last year. There was a fight penciled in for May time. That didn't really happen. Then it was July, then September, then October. And here we are in December. And it's just a shame, really, because this really should have been her last final fight. This is where we all come out. We give her roses. She has a fight, whether it would have been against Michaela here tonight now. Habazin was supposed to have happened in the summer, or if the deal was done, has been done for a long time. And really, we should have been here tonight now, celebrating Natasha's last fight. The fact that we haven't, and we're asking her still to carry on in 2025 at nearly the age of 41, I'm not comfortable with, but we'll wait till after the event and speak about that. We've got a really tough fight tomorrow night with Ivana Habazin, and fair play to her, everyone's overlooking her. I've been annoyed, and I know you'll be aware of that certain people have spoke to going, stop building this Price Natasha Jonas fight up. This isn't a give me for Natasha Jonas. Habazin 10 years ago was fighting Brackhouse for undisputed unification. She's fought Claressa Shields and gone the distance and acquitted herself very well. This is by no means, and that's what I hate when you start looking past what's in front of you. Ivana Habazin, she's been in the UK, she's been training up in Bolton for a few weeks, and everyone that's doing the publicity of this collision course is pumping fuel and determination and motivation into Ivana Habazin to go, I'm going to rip the script up here, do you understand? And I think fair play to her yesterday for standing her ground. She needs to be given her flowers. She's had a long career, she's WBC world champion, and she's here on merit, and fair play to her. And I think everyone keeps building up this Price. My argument was, as Lauren Price said last week, I want titles. Well, Michaela Mayer was there to go and fight Michaela Mayer. I said the winner of Price and Mayer, then come and fight the winner of Tasha and Habazin. So stop moaning, there's fights out there, but let's get back to Tasha. She's in a good place now, she's fighting. This will be her last fight in Liverpool, so expect a good turnout for him to come out and watch her fight, and hopefully wins her 5th world title. Sorry about that rant. No. That's furious that the girl has been such an ambassador, her and Katie Taylor, for British women boxing from 2012 to 2024. That these two girls will never see. They talk about Ronaldo and Messi. I don't think you've got to see two women that's got to impact British and Irish boxing in the way that them two girls have in that format. And I feel there's things that must be off, but I just feel this should be like, we should be emphasising, celebrating her in the way that Katie Taylor is over in Ireland.
No, I'm here for it, Joe. I'm here for a rant every day of the week. And Matt, it's been some journey with Tasha, because I remember being ringside and commentating on her fight when she got stopped by Vivian Obernauf, and at that point it was hard to see this because she turned pro quite late. There didn't seem to be too much room for any setbacks, but you look at what she's done since then, and it is an amazing example to everybody, basically, of what can be done if you keep that self-belief and stay professional. But it's a hard night against Habazin. There's no getting away from it. If she underperforms even fractionally, she'll get beaten.
No, she's got to be at the top of her game. It's a tough fight. But if you do look at what Natasha has achieved since the Obernauf loss, you can say that was a bit of a freak night, wasn't it, that happened? Do you know what I mean? It was a freak performance, almost, a bad performance from Natasha, but she never performed or looked fragile ever since. It was just one of those things. But since then, what she's gone on to achieve, and he's still achieving, has been unbelievable. And Joe's right in the sense of what her and Katie Taylor, that fight in the Olympics. It was one of the standout events of the Olympics. It broke the record for the decibels for the loudest venue of any event in the Olympics. And then their paths were aligned and they crossed again, and they had a great fight in the pros, and what Katie's gone to achieve, and also Tasha now. It's great that she's getting this fight in her hometown, and there'll probably be another one after this, all going well on Saturday night, which obviously it's not a foregone conclusion. It's not a gimme. It's a world title fight. It's a tough fight. She's got to be, she's got to perform to the best of her ability. But assuming that she does, she should get the win. And then, everyone's talking about her and Lauren Price fighting next year.
This is a chance for Natasha to win a 5th world title. And what you've got to look at it from Ivana Habazin's point of view. I've been on Clarissa Shields. I've done 10 rounds of Clarissa Shields. Who thinks I'm going to get stopped by Natasha Jonas? She's been in with bigger and better. No disrespect, you understand, to Natasha, as good as she is. But people who look at Brackhouse and Clarissa Shields have very good fighters. She has no fear fighting Natasha Jonas. She's motivated, like I say, she's got a good jab on her. She's stubborn, she's solid. You're seeing it at the head's edge, you must see it at the weigh-in head's edge. She's big, she's not intimidated, and she's thinking, this is a really good win fight for me, that it can be me fighting Price or Mayer next in unification.
And she also, you could tell from yesterday when they were speaking about the fight after, you could feel she felt disrespected and thinking, and it gave her, the bit between it, thinking, I'm going to show you to be looking past me.
Yeah, no. From my point of view and Natasha's point of view and Team Jonas's, we have huge respect for Habazin, and we've been really annoyed that people have been overlooking this girl as an opponent. But apologise to her and the team, but it's nothing on our behalf. She's a great world champion, and she'll put in a big performance tomorrow night.
And she's no stranger to an away day either, because this is her 8th world title fight. I think one has been in Croatia. That was her last one. So.
Plus she's a regular sparring partner for Katie Taylor. Katie uses her an awful lot for sparring, so that speaks volumes as well. If you weren't no good, Katie wouldn't be bringing you back into it as well. Like I say, Tasha has a chance to win 5 world titles. She had a great 2023. She won the Boxer of the Year. She's been a ring belt champion. And let's hopefully she can win that 5th world title tomorrow night.
Okay, Joe, well, as I said at the start, and I genuinely meant it, you questioned the sincerity of it, but I meant it. Always great to hear from you. That's a great preview of the fight, and basically the pitfalls that are potentially there for Tasha. We'll let you go. She got Mikey Talon on the bill as well.
2 seconds. This is the point I'm trying to make. Your Grand National winner wins the Grand National in January. You don't bolt it and put it in the stable for a year and ask it to come out and win the National again without having a run out. These girls have been fighting week in, month out, and at that stage of her career, this is what worries me tomorrow night, the inactivity and that horse that's won the National being bolted up for a year and then saying, go out and perform again. It's very hard to do, but fingers crossed we'll get the job done tomorrow night. I'm going. I'll see you later.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Thanks, Joe.
Bye.
Time to get the weigh-in underway. Here's Big Mo.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Box Park, Liverpool, ahead of a huge night of boxing tomorrow night at the Exhibition Center as Natasha Jonas looks to unify the world titles against Ivana Habazin live on Sky Sports and NBC's Peacock. Tomorrow night's event is promoted by Ben Shalom and Boxer. But before we get to that, today is the official weigh-ins where all the competitors on tomorrow night's card will be able to get up on stage, weigh in, pose off, face off, before they enter the ring with each other tomorrow night, live on Sky and NBC's Peacock. We'd like to thank our official partners for today, Betfred, Hell Energy, That Prize Guy, and Riyadh Season. We also are supporting tomorrow night the Alder Hay Children's Charity, which Boxer is proud to support with the show tomorrow night. We begin the official weigh-ins with the super featherweight division, scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds. Introducing first to the scales, fighting out of the blue corner from Girona, Catalonia, Spain. Please welcome Jairo Cadejo Duran. Official weight 9 stone, 7 pounds for Jairo Duran. And now his opponent fighting out of the red corner tomorrow night. He is undefeated as a professional with 5 victories, opposite no defeats, with one of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of right here in Liverpool, England, please welcome Jamie Devine. Official weight 9 stone, 5 pounds, 5 ounces for Jamie Devine.
So a call up to this card for Jamie Devine. He's a Liverpool fighter. There's a few on the bill. You always want to get some local prospects on the undercard, generate some interest, sell a few tickets. It's a great experience for them as well. He boxes out at the No Limits gym, as I understand it, which is not in the city of Liverpool itself. I think it's up on the Wirral. It's the gym that Sean Dodd, Masha Dodd, still operates out of. And with these fighters on the undercard, Matt, we talk all the time about opportunities, but opportunities, as we discussed yesterday, are different now to how they used to be, because everybody gets to see every fight now, which puts the pressure on. It's good and bad, isn't it? Because if you perform well, it's great. If you don't perform well, you can't really get away with it anymore.
No, but you have to back yourself and believe in yourself and believe that you're going to perform well.
4 rounds in the super featherweight division. Spain versus England. Jairo Duran versus Jamie Devine, live on Sky Sports and NBC's Peacock.
He's undefeated. Devine, I'm sure he sold a few tickets. Good to be around this kind of card for somebody like him. They've got a particular kind of smell, weigh-ins, I always think. It's this sort of acrid mix of adrenaline and hunger. You can feel it in the air here.
And now we move to our next contest on the card. 6 3-minute rounds in the super welterweight division. Introducing first to the scales, fighting out of the blue corner from Gomel, Belarus. Please welcome Dmitry Atria. Official weight 11 stone, 3 pounds, 5 ounces for Dmitry Atria. And now his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He holds a professional record of 20 victories versus 4 defeats, with 8 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Cheshire, England, please welcome Nutty Mason Cartwright. Official weight 11 stone, 2 pounds for Mason Cartwright.
Well, Mason Cartwright in serious shape up on the scales there. He's a 2-time British title challenger. Neither of those fights against Troy Williamson or Sam Antwi went his way. But you can tell from the condition he's in that he still has plenty of ambition left. And I like fighters like Cartwright, Matt, because he's got 4 defeats, but they've been at a good level. And sometimes when you pick up a couple of British title level, people can be very quick to tell you, you found your level, we don't really need to see you again. But being a professional is about working to improve day in, day out, staying dedicated, believing that you'll get the chance again and get over the line. And you just look at him here and he still feels he has a lot to offer.
Yeah, and why wouldn't he? You know, it could easily be 3rd time lucky for him. He didn't quite get there those 2 other times, but he'd have looked at his performances, he'd have gone back to the drawing board, he'd have looked at adjustments and things he can improve on, and he believes he's a better version of himself now than he was going into those 2 other fights.
Versus Nutty Mason Cartwright, promoted by Ben Shalom and Boxer, live on Sky Sports and NBC's Peacock.
And Atria will give him a fight too. I saw him at York Hall against Istvan Husseini a few weeks ago, and he'll come and give it a crack. We'll be hearing from Cartwright in just a sec. He's just going to go and get a top. If I look like that, I'd never wear a top.
No, exactly.
A bit embarrassing, but anyway, enough of that. Here's Andy Scott.
What are you trying to get out of tomorrow night? What's your aims, not just in the ring under the bright lights, but moving forward as well?
Just to start chasing some big fights. I'm in my prime. It's showing in my training, my sparring world champions. I've been across Dubai, sparring Eubank. I'm showing my level, so I'm ready for any big fight.
Yeah, you've been at that British title level before. Must be a nice feeling to get out just before Christmas as well, and perhaps have a bit more turkey come the 25th.
Yeah, that's it. It's made me appreciate all the little things around Christmas. It's my first one with my little girl, so I'll spend some good time with her.
Yeah. What's her name?
It's Dottie.
So I'll win for Dottie and then enjoy Christmas.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
And now we move to the super flyweight division. Tomorrow night here in Liverpool, first fighting out of the blue corner. He hails from Shempshed, Leicestershire, England, with a professional record of 7 victories, opposite 6 defeats. Please welcome to the scales, Lil Stormin, Ben Norman. Official weight, 7 stone, 12 pounds, 5 ounces for Ben Norman. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner tomorrow. He is undefeated as a professional with 5 victories, opposite 0 defeats. And he fights out of Everton, Liverpool, England. Please welcome Mikey Talon. Official weight, 7 stone, 12 pounds, 5 ounces for Mikey Talon.
Mikey Talon up against Ben Norman at flyweight, and this is a 6-rounder on an undercard, but they've both come in under the championship limit of 8 stone for flyweight, which is something I always really like to see for these undercard fights, because Talon will be wanting to fight for titles before too long. He's managed by Natasha Jonas, trained by Joe Gallagher. It's just a really good habit to get into.
Without a doubt, I think that the closer you can come to the weight, the championship weight, the better. I'm not saying you have to come on under, but you don't want to be going too far north of it, just because it's just a bad habit. It's just, and your body's getting above it, and then you don't actually know then can you make that weight and perform at it. So the closer you can come in the weight, a pound or 2 over max.
And this is a good fight for Talon. He's undefeated. Did well as a junior and youth, because Ben Norman is from a boxing family. Louis is his brother. He's been doing this a long time. He's 7-6. He's taking away corner jobs. You might have seen him a couple of weeks ago in Birmingham against Hamza Uddin. Very highly rated Hamza Uddin, and he went the 6 rounds. He really knows what he's doing, Ben Norman, so I make this a good match for Mikey Talon.
Yeah, knows his way around the ring, knows how to get through the moments and how to survive. So yeah, good opponent.
So he'll be having a quick word with Andy, just getting a top on. Okay, we're ready to go.
Mikey, where are you at ahead of tomorrow night? Progressing nicely in your career, but this does look a step up of sorts. Ben Norman's been in with the best prospects around. He was a decent level amateur as well. He's won a Midlands area title. What have you got to do to beat him?
Just be myself, it's a good step up. He's fought for the English title. Just going to show that this is where I'm going to be. I'm going to put on a good performance and show the levels that I'm at.
How helpful has it been to be active as well? I think the biggest enemy of most boxers is inactivity. You've bucked that trend a little bit and tried to stay as busy as possible, and how important will that be under the bright lights?
Yeah, to be honest, I think this year's been a bit of a slow year where fights getting called off, but I've had loads of time in the gym learning and improving, so I'll be able to show it all Saturday night.
I know it's about you, but it's about the team as well. Just one final word before I let you go on Natasha Jonas. Can she do it? Joe Gallagher's almost calling this probably her last professional fight in Liverpool before she goes off into the sunset. I know there's a couple of fights on the horizon, but can she do it?
Yeah, most definitely.
Top man. I'll leave you to it.
Nice one.
We now move up to the lightweight division, ladies and gentlemen, for tomorrow night's collision course here in Liverpool. 6 3-minute rounds. Introducing first to the scales, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a veteran of 12 professional bouts, fighting out of Kent, England. Please welcome to the scales, Tatenda T-Flash Mangombe.
Like the fire needs the air. I won't burn unless you're there.
I need you to hate, so I can use you for your energy. You know?
I won't burn unless you're there.
Official weight, 9 stone, 12 pounds, 5 ounces for Tatenda Mangombe.
Black chuckers, black gully, leather pele. I take spit over rainbow. I'm a fan who got that silver duct tape on my. The women in my life bring confusion. So like Nino and New Jack, I'll cancel that. Look at me, this is the life I chose. Around me so cold, man, my heart.
And his opponent fighting out of the red corner tomorrow night, he is undefeated as a professional with 8 victories, opposite no defeats, with one of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of right here in Liverpool, England, please welcome Frankie Stringer. Official weight, 9 stone, 11 pounds, 5 ounces for Frankie Stringer.
Another Liverpool fighter in Frankie Stringer. Up against Tatenda Mangombe at lightweight. Mangombe, who went the distance with Leon Woodstock last time out. So again, I think a good choice of opponent for Stringer, who's 8-0 these days. He signed with Boxer recently. He's got Liam Smith managing him. He's from the Rotunda, so he's got a great team behind him in Joe McNally and Declan O'Rourke, who we'll see next week actually in Saudi Arabia with Dennis McCann. So a busy time for them. And like Mikey Talon, he's got some real firepower behind him, and they're people who are not going to invest their time with someone unless they really believe in him. He did enough as well as a junior and a youth in the amateur ranks to suggest that he's somebody who could go places.
Yeah, and having those right people around him as a professional and having the attributes and qualities to make it in the professional game, and a busy, thriving gym at the minute where everyone's training, everyone's getting ready for a fight, there's lots of sparring going on. That's what you want.
Contest tomorrow night here in Liverpool. Tatenda Mangombe versus Frankie Stringer, promoted by Ben Shalom and Boxer, live on Sky Sports and NBC's Peacock.
Stare down between these two. And these undercard fights, it's interesting because these away corner guys, it's just not that deep for them. It's a job of work. And it's not as though they don't come looking for the win if it is available, if they feel that things have gone well enough in the early rounds that this could be one of those nights where they put their foot to the floor and see if they can spring that upset. If you're Stringer, you have to make sure you start well, you start confident, and that you keep any of that kind of ambition completely out of their mind. He looks in very, very good shape. Here he is with Andy.
Frankie, good to speak to you. You got that sort of tag off your back last time out, getting your first professional stoppage. How dearly would you love to add to that and go back to back?
I'm confident I will, so confident it'll be 2-2.
How do you feel you're progressing as a pro? It's a marathon, not a sprint, and you've been coming up nicely, sort of away from the bright lights, but been on Sky shows. But this is your first one under the Boxer banner. Is that a little bit of added pressure and added motivation to convince Ben Shalom he's made a good signing there?
I need to impress. I need to show him why he signed me, but it's all coming together in the gym. I'm starting to feel strong, getting me man strength, so you'll see a strong performance from Saturday.
I was just about to say, is that a sign of maturity, and perhaps you're adjusting now? You're a very talented amateur. It isn't an instant transition from the amateurs to the pros, but you're getting that man strength now?
I'm still a baby. I can feel it in the gym. As I'm getting on, the camps I'm doing, I'm getting stronger and stronger. I'm punching harder. I'm performing better in spars, so hopefully tomorrow I'll put it all into play.
And just finally, boxing at home in Liverpool is a nice touch. If it is Natasha Jonas' last time under the bright lights in Liverpool, what's she done for boxing in the city amongst some great names obviously coming out of the Rotunda?
She's unbelievable. She's someone you look up to, and she's brought big nights here. I've been on a show of hers as well, so hopefully I can do that in the future.
Yeah, wish you all the best. Good luck.
Thank you, and.
We now move up to the cruiserweight division, scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds tomorrow night here in Liverpool. Introducing first to the scales, fighting out of the blue corner. He holds a professional record of 7 victories, opposite 3 defeats, with 2 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Bradford, England, here is Dan, the Reaper Man, Garber. Official weight, 16 stone, 5 pounds for the Reaper Man, Dan Garber. And now his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, making his highly anticipated return to the ring. He is undefeated as a professional with 11 victories, opposite 0 defeats, with 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Tottenham, England, he is the current reigning English Cruiserweight champion. Here's the realist, Vidal Riley. Official weight, 14 stone, 5 pounds, 5 ounces for Vidal Riley.
Vidal Riley coming in at 14 stone 5, Dan Garber 16 stone 5. So Vidal Riley has had some problems with opponents this week. Boxer had somebody booked in at 14 stone 7. That then didn't happen. Dan Garber has stepped up late notice, and everybody is very grateful to him for doing so. But he weighs what he weighs. He's taken a fight. He's 16-5, and now Riley is happy to still take it because he wants to fight, which will give him an interesting kind of challenge, Vidal Riley, tomorrow night. 6 rounds against someone who is 2 stone heavier than him.
Yeah, exactly. 2 stone, a lot of weight. That's a considerable weight advantage, a disadvantage. So he's got to contend with that. But I think in terms of boxing ability and skill, speed and know-how, Vidal should be far too good for him.
He's not scared of taking a fight, Dan Garber, because he stepped up and boxed Moses Itauma not that long ago. It didn't last all that long, but Moses Itauma reckoned to be one of the #1 prospects in all of world boxing, not just in that heavyweight division. So, as I say, Dan Garber has come in and saved the day here for Vidal Riley, which is why he's happy to go ahead with the fight, even though he's giving away a couple of stone.
Versus the returning, the realist, Vidal Riley, promoted by Ben Shalom and Boxer.
So the British Boxing Board of Control circulars came out over the last day or so, and at English title level, it says Vidal Riley, champion, will defend against Isaac Chamberlain. Date and venue to be confirmed by promoter Ben Shalom. And that's what we expect, because that fight's been brewing for a while, Matt. There was a bit of a kerfuffle at ringside after Vidal's win against Mikhail Lawal. That's what he's looking at next.
Yeah.
But again, you've got to get through this. You've got to make sure you don't pick up any injuries. That's something they'll be looking at. You don't want to get mauled around by a bigger guy, head clashes, that kind of thing.
No, natural. It's a natural fight. It's a chance for Chamberlain to get back up there, and obviously it's the marquee name that Riley needs to catapult him to the next level.
Okay, so we haven't seen him in the ring for a while. I'm sure he'll be delighted to be back. Here he is with Andy.
Vidal, first thing first, great to have you back. I'm sure it's been mixed emotions. One of those surely is frustration. Are you looking to get that out of your system tomorrow night?
100%. That's what this is about. Momentum building for a big new year. Don't look past what's in front of you. Deal with what's in front of you, and that's what we'll do tomorrow.
Obviously, professional boxing chops and changes. People fall out of bed on fight week. It is a change of opponent, and Dan Garber is a big, strong lad who's obviously got some physical advantages over you. Is that the first time you've seen him? Is he bigger than you thought?
It won't be the first boxing match ever where someone had physical advantages over someone else and that person lose. It's just another example of that. So it's part of the game. It's part of the game. I'm here to fight. This is who I'm fighting. I'm going to deal with him and we move on.
Yeah, I mean, people have already spoke about what's on the line, what might be next for you. That's often when people slip up. How do you keep your eyes on the road and make sure that there's no bumps?
It doesn't exist if he's not extinguished. If my opponent tomorrow is not extinguished, everything future doesn't exist. It's very easy to focus on what's in front of you when you understand that.
And it's a very disrespectful question to your opponent, but you've been out a long time. Will you be looking to get rounds, or will you be looking for an early night?
Listen, we get in there, we start popping, we start our rhythm, and whatever happens, happens.
Wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Now moving up to the super middleweight division, ladies and gentlemen, this next contest tomorrow night is for the Commonwealth Silver Super Middleweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is undefeated as a professional with 10 victories, opposite no defeats, with 9 of those 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Representing and fighting out of Ghana, please welcome Joshua Cordy. Official weight, 11 stone, 11 pounds for Joshua Cordy. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, he is also undefeated as a professional with 18 victories, opposite no defeats, with 5 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Chorley, Lancashire, England, please welcome the former English super middleweight champion, Mark Jeffers. Official weight, 11 stone, 13 pounds for Mark Jeffers.
Good to see Mark Jeffers back in action. It's been a little while since we last saw him in the ring. He's had a couple of opponent changes this week. He's ended up with Joshua Cordy, who is undefeated, 10 fights, 10 wins, 9 by stoppage. Not much on his record, so difficult to know exactly what we'll get from him, but from looking at him on the scales, I think we'll get some confidence from him, certainly. Jeffers has got the look and the sound of a man, Matt, who is the right kind of frustrated, because we saw him really announce himself against Zach Chelly. Very, very good performance. We didn't know much about him before that. He stayed ready, waited for the big fight, waited for the phone to ring, which is what you must do. He then took the chance, and if anything, in that performance and then against Jermaine Brown, he took it a bit too well, because people then looked at him and thought twice. The European champion Kevin Saggio offered him a fight, and the speed with which he accepted it was probably why Saggio in the end didn't take it. He has to take care of business here, Jeffers, but he's got something, hasn't he?
Yeah, without a doubt. Look, he may well be the best guy in the UK at 12 stone, 168 pounds. He's really looked the business every time he's fought. His willingness to fight anyone can be a bit unnerving to the other guys out there. And yeah, he probably feels that his career should have pushed on a bit quicker since the Chelly win, but you know, I think his time will come.
Well, last time out, he got that knockout against Aaron Johnston, and it was a well set up and very well executed knockout, and he felt like that was what we and the viewing public needed to see from him off the back of a couple of points wins. So good to see that he has his head around that showbiz side of it in that Jennings gym with Michael and Dave. He wants to fight with Callum Simpson. They were both on the podcast this week. That would be a terrific fight. Here he is with Andy.
Mark, it's been great having you down in the Sky Studios this week and having all the cameras on you. It is now an interesting dynamic, though. Late change of opponent, and it's one of those rarities where this looks like a more dangerous puncher, a man who's knocked 9 out of 10 out. You were calling yesterday for, you know, I'm above this level, I need dangerous fights. This does look like a potential tricky one if you're not switched on.
Yeah, I'm always fully focused. This is my biggest fight to date. I'm going to do a serious job on him and then push on for some big fights.
At the same time, you haven't had too long to think about it and perhaps not too long to worry about it either. Is it more about what you're going to do anyway, and it doesn't really matter who's in the other corner?
Yeah, I just focus on me. Mick, Dave, they have a little study of him, tell me a few things. I very rarely have a look. A couple of little things to work on, but on the night it's going to be me. just knocking him spark out, like I said yesterday.
Yeah, well, you're coming off the back of that unbelievable knockout. Ideally, get another one of those before Christmas, another highlight reel knockout.
Yeah, it's going to be worse this time.
May I just ask you before you go, though, you guys, your team, you've been talking it up the whole time. Is it now a little bit more rewarding that people are talking about you in the right sentences, in the right frames, and in the right fights potentially if you get through?
Yeah, everyone's known for a while. I deserve bigger fights. It can only be so long before I get these opportunities. I've said Callum Simpson, that's the biggest fight for me at super middleweight, so he's got a big fight in January, get that out of the way. And Ben, it's the fight to make, mate. You know it is. All the British public know it is. Barnsley, summertime, let's go.
You just got to do the winning.
100%, I'm going to do it in a nasty manner tomorrow.
Well done for not swearing as well.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this next contest very easily could steal the show tomorrow night. It is your Betfred fight of the night. 10 3-minute rounds for the WBC International Silver Super Welterweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is the challenger tomorrow night. He holds a near-perfect professional record of 14 victories versus just 1 defeat, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Bournemouth, England, he is the current reigning English Super Welterweight champion. He is Lee Chaos Cutler. Official weight, 10 stone, 12 pounds, 5 ounces for the challenger, Lee Cutler. And now his opponent fighting out of the red corner tomorrow night, the defending champion. He is undefeated as a professional with 15 victories versus 0 losses, with 14 of those 15 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning, defending WBC International Silver Super Welterweight champion. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California by way of Monaghan, Ireland, Stephen the Hitman McKenna.
Can run on for a long time. Run on.
Official weight, 10 stone, 12 pounds, 5 ounces for Stephen McKenna.
Gotta cut you down. Gotta cut you down.
So these two both make the championship weight, and this promises to be a very, very good fight. They've been going at each other for a while. It continues yesterday at the press conference. And it did get quite personal, it did get quite heated. Sometimes these things start, Matt, and it's all a bit of fun and games. It doesn't really get that personal. They know where the line is. But yesterday, you could see that there's a real edge to it. When the bell goes tomorrow night, this is serious business.
Yeah, it could snowball out of control, couldn't it? I think the key here for both men is to keep a calm head in the high intensity hot kitchen. You know, you don't want to get your emotions overrun you. You've got to be calm in the madness. I think it will be electric. I think it will be high tempo. I think it will be vicious. But at the same time, I think they've got to make sure they stick to their tactics and their game plan.
It's a really interesting one when you look at the two resumes, because McKenna has knocked everybody out, all but one opponent, that is. And last time out, he was in this absolutely epic ding-dong with Joe Laws. Laws just sprinted across the ring at him as soon as the bell went and did exactly what he said he was going to do during the week, which fighters don't always. It was a 3-round war. McKenna was put down heavy in the first, but he got the win. Cutler has got a defeat against Brad Ray that McKenna has made a lot of, but what he's also done is he's gone the distance over 10 rounds a couple of times. We saw him do it outdoors at Bournemouth against Stanley Stannard. We saw him do it against Kingsley Edbonike last December. Navigating your way through 10 rounds, experience of that can be really, really valuable. And Cutler here is saying that he's going to take it to McKenna right from the off. I wonder whether he will. I think he might be looking to be a bit cleverer than that and think to himself, all right, if you want to come looking to take my head off in the first few, be my guest, because when I get you into the second half, you're going to have problems.
I think he'll have to stand his ground and get McKenna's respect, otherwise McKenna will just run all over him. But I think he'll look to box fight him, mix it up. I don't think he'll go toe-to-toe.
Well, this is intense. You can see the height difference between the two there. They're both in terrific shape. Absolutely terrific shape. And the security gentleman there just having to get between the two of them to turn them around. Well, that could have gone on for a long time. McKenna doesn't want the turn around, wanting to try and get in front of Cutler, just a little shove, and now they're being separated, which is the right thing. Just get them to a safe distance. It's hard to make weight for these two, isn't it? It should be. You've done this, you know. They're a little bit drawn, they're irritable, they're ready, they're right on the edge.
Yeah, and there's probably the after effects, the hangover from yesterday where things got said and they don't really like each other, let's be honest. And a day when you're hungry, thirsty, pressure, tired, you know, that's the worst time. But I think that could easily be the fight of the night. I think that could be the one that steals the show.
OK, well, the pair of them are going to speak to Andy. We're going to go for Lee Cutler first.
Lee, not the most surprising thing. There was a little bit of emotion and energy up on this stage. How important is it that that's out of everyone's system now and it's kind of cool head in a hot kitchen tomorrow night? I mean, that's absolutely not what we want, but presumably you and Josh Pritchard are going to have a conversation about that.
This chaos resumes tomorrow, so we're going to see tomorrow night.
He's talked it up. He said he's going to draw a line in the sand, and he's got the Marvin Hagler war hat on, and he said he's going to meet you in the centre of the ring. First off, do you believe him? And second, if he does do that, what are you going to do?
I don't care what he does. He can do whatever he wants. I've got whatever it takes to beat him. Whether he stands there, comes out like he did against Joe Laws, or he tries to box a little bit, whatever it is, he's going to come unstuck.
Do you think he's got you all wrong?
100%. I'm a much better fighter than I ever have been. At this point in my life, I'm meant to be here.
And a much better fighter than he's faced before?
100%. He's fought welterweights, come on, let's face it. So yeah, I'm ready for it.
Brought a little bit of support up as well, which is always good to hear from them. Your final message?
All the boys come down from Bournemouth. Like, I'm really, really thankful for that support. But let's get this done, and then let's get a headline down in Bournemouth.
Thanks, Lee. Good luck. Stevie, where are you? Come join us up here. We have to make sure that you two aren't on the stage anymore together. War hat. I mean, he said he couldn't understand you yesterday, but do you think he understands the message on the hat now?
All the talk is going to be done with these here tomorrow night. So destruct and destroy. I'm coming. He's going to feel the pain. You know, there's no doubt. He can build himself all he wants, but at the end of the day, it's only me and him in there.
Do you think he believes in what he's saying?
No. Deep down he knows. Look at the odds. Look at online. I don't see any of his fans betting on him. You know, if they really backed him, they'd start pumping money on him. But the odds are getting less in my favour. You know, I'm a big favourite, and I'm going to knock Lee Cutler out.
You did it against Joe Laws. You said, I will meet you in the centre of the ring. You've said to Lee Cutler, I will meet you in the centre of the ring. Will you do it? Or is this all just one big bluff and you're going to get on the back foot and you're going to box?
Some chance of that happening. I'm going to be in the middle of the ring. If he wants to come and stand and fight, let's put on a show for the fans. But I have a funny feeling he's going to get in his bike. He's going to try to pick his shots and run, but I'm just going to cut him down. Listen to my ring walk. It's God's going to cut you down, and I'll cut Cutler down.
Will this end inside the distance in your favour?
Within 3 rounds.
Within 3?
Yeah, trust me. 3 rounds.
Can we have another Hagler Hearns?
He's not tough enough for that sort of fighting. The minute I lay a few punches on him, he'll go down like a ton of bricks. He'll be scraping him up from the canvas.
Well, there you go. Shakespeare's English. Good luck to you.
And now we come to the first of our world title bouts tomorrow night here in Liverpool. This first one is for the WBA and IBO welterweight championships of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, she is the challenger. She is undefeated as a professional with 7 victories, opposite 0 defeats, with 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Bogota, Colombia, introducing Bexcy Mateus.
iba a volver cuando fuera millonario. Me colgué mi maleta y mi rosario y me fui soltando el llanto con un nudo en la garganta.
Official weight, 10 stone, 5 pounds, 5 ounces for Bexcy Mateus.
No tenemos miedo, pa' y crecimos en la guerra y hemos hecho de todo pa' que no nos falte el pan. Vengo de un pedacito hermoso de la...
And now her opponent, the defending champion, fighting out of the red corner. She is undefeated as a professional with 7 victories, opposite no defeats, with one of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Istrad, Wales, introducing the Olympic gold medalist, the MBE, the first ever women's British champion, and the current reigning, defending WBA and IBO champion of the world. Here's the lucky one, Lauren Price.
Every night, you're a superstar, and don't you be afraid. Think of all the friends you made, like any other night. You got your name in lights, you're a
Official weight, 10 stone, 6 pounds for Lauren Price.
So we have a contest, both of these two making the championship weight. Price making the first defence of her WBA title that she won in such impressive fashion against Jessica McCaskill. Bexcy Mateus taking a big step up here, but she comes with no fear. I had a chat with her yesterday. She knows that the expectation is on Price, and she is perfectly happy with that. Matt, every time I see Price on the scales, I'm just struck by what an absolute specimen she is at welterweight, because some fighters get caught between weights. You're either a little bit too small for it, a bit too big for it, and there's half a stone to go down to super lightweight, half a stone to go up to super welter, but she is just bang on that welterweight 10 stone 7. It must be hard to make it, but she's there, isn't she? That is her weight.
Perfect for it, and she looks like she's the top end of it, but she's all there physically. She looks as strong as a bull, and she is as strong as a bull. I've seen the weight. I know the weight that she lifts, but it's funny because actually, technically, and sort of from a mentality mindset, she's more of a boxer.
Well, she showed us against McCaskill that really she has the full arsenal, because she has that technical ability, she's got that speed, the reflexes, those fast twitch fibres that are so valuable. But if you want to try and take her into the trenches, if you want to make it rough and have a roll around on the cobbles, then she's perfectly happy to do that as well, because that's how McCaskill likes it. And Jessica McCaskill, who's been a very, very good fighter, just couldn't really do anything with her. Mateus with all but one of her wins coming by stoppage. Fighting outside of Colombia for the first time. And we'll be getting a quick word with both of these two. First up will be Bexcy Mateus. Via our translator. Okay, here she is, Landy.
Bexcy, it feels like it's a long way from home in Colombia, but how do you feel that you've adjusted in your time here, and how confident are you ahead of your first world title fight tomorrow night?
Vienes desde muy lejos de Colombia, pero ¿cómo te estás ajustando aquí en el país y cómo te sientes para la pelea mañana?
Siempre he dicho que Dios me trajo acá y me trajo bajo las mejores herramientas y me he preparado al máximo para estar al borde de la oportunidad que me dio.
God brought me here, and He gave me the tools that I needed to be here for the fight tomorrow, and He also gave me the opportunity to be here.
I know you want to give too much away, but how do you go about beating Lauren Price?
¿Cómo te sientes y cuál es tu técnica para poder pelear contra Lauren Price?
Pienso que hay muchas cosas que no se deben decir, pero me siento muy agradecida de poder enfrentarla.
There's a lot of things that I don't think we should talk about, but I'm very grateful to be able to fight against her tomorrow.
Okay, wish you all the best of luck. Lauren, if you could come quickly join us up here. first defence of your title against a relatively unknown Colombian, but who can really punch on paper. I know you've seen all sort of styles in your amateur career. I wonder if this is a little bit of a throwback to that. You know, on the day you wouldn't know who you were fighting and you didn't have too much time to overthink it. With Bexcy, there isn't too much available online. What have you studied and what do you know about her, and what can we expect from you tomorrow?
I mean, you know, I never really looked too much into that. I focus on myself, what I'm good at. But I know she's obviously strong, tough, you know, a bit raw. She's going to come out at me, what I like, really. But I've just got to stick to my game plan, you know, listen to my team in the corner and go out and put on a performance, be on my A game, and I'll get that win.
I've heard fighters in the past say that can sometimes be a little bit more tricky than someone who's straight up and down and orthodox, that if they are a little bit wild and perhaps a little bit unorthodox, it can take some getting used to.
Yeah, obviously you've always got to have, you know, a plan A, plan B, but I think I'm the type of boxer, you know, who can figure that out. We seen McCaskill, you know, in May. She come out the first 2 rounds, she was a bit raw, but in the end, you know, I got into my flow and got my rhythm, and I think I'm quite good at that. So yeah, I just got to stick to my boxing, stick to my speed, stick to my skill, and I believe I come out on top.
Presumably confidence is high in the camp anyway, but I just wonder if having that world title belt is just giving you that little bit of added impetus. You know, you're a champion of the world now, there's a level of expectation and extra pressure around you, but at the same time, I wonder if you're that sort of character that benefits from that.
No, I wouldn't say, you know, just because I got world titles, I take every fight serious, you know, turning over as Olympic champion. I've had pressure on me from day one. With pressure comes diamonds, right? And yeah, I believe, you know, Saturday night's no different. It's my first defence. And I believe I'm going to shine into them lights and put on a show and get that win.
And there is no secret about what could be next. I know everybody's sort of dampening it down now and let's focus on the fights in front of us, but how hopeful are you that you obviously get your part of the deal done, and then actually in a strange dynamic, will you be cheering Natasha Jonas on?
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's massive. Obviously, I know we both got a job to do on Saturday night, but when I turned over as Olympic champion, I wanted to be involved in them big fights. I'm world champion now. I want more belts. I want to create a legacy. I want to, you know, bring big-time boxing back to Wales, back to Cardiff, create greatness. And that's a great fight, you know, great British fight. And, yeah, one I'm calling for.
Best of luck tomorrow night.
Thank you very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the main event tomorrow night here in Liverpool for Collision Course, promoted by Ben Shalom and Boxer, live on Sky Sports and NBC's Peacock. This bout is scheduled for 10 2-minute rounds and is for the IBF and WBC Unified Welterweight Championships of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. She holds a professional record of 23 victories versus 5 defeats, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of Zlatar, Croatia, introducing the former IBO middleweight world champion and the current reigning WBC welterweight champion of the world. Here is Ivana Habazin. Official weight, 10 stone, 6 pounds for the defending champion, Ivana Habazin. And now her opponent fighting out of the red corner. She holds a professional record of 15 victories versus just 2 defeats and 1 draw, with 9 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of right here in Liverpool, England, introducing the former unified super welterweight champion of the world and the current reigning, defending IBF welterweight champion of the world, Miss GB, Natasha Jonas.
You are what God imagined. You are a true perfection. Baby, you made the stars. Don't let nobody tell you different. You are alive.
Official weight, 10 stone, 6 pounds for the defending champion, Natasha Jonas.
All the love, why don't you let it? Don't
So the unification is on. Jonas, the IBF champion, Habazin, the WBC champion. This is an 8th world title fight for each of them. They've both been world champions at super welterweight and now welterweight. Habazin has been up as high as middleweight. It's a good fight, this, Matt, because the home fighter is generally the favourite, and for the great British public, they know who Natasha Jonas is, and unless you're really invested in boxing, you wouldn't necessarily know who Ivana Habazin is. But what she is what she's appeared to be all week, a legit world champion with rock-solid confidence. This is nothing new for her. She's boxed away from home plenty of times, and she absolutely believes she can win.
No, and the average fan won't know who she is, and they'll be looking past her to the collision course of Lauren Price and Natasha Jonas. The only thing that's really important is that Natasha Jonas isn't looking beyond that, and I don't think she is.
Worldwide on Sky Sports and NBC's Peacock, a world title unification for the IBF and WBC welterweight championships of the world. Croatia versus England. Ivana Habazin versus Natasha Jonas.
Little smile on the face there of Habazin and the Jonas as they just turn around and face the cameras. These are two very, very experienced professionals. As I mentioned, an 8th world title fight for each of them. Jonas just offering the hand, which Habazin is happy to take. 10 2-minute rounds, and we've seen that format serve up some breathtaking action over the last few years. None more so than when we last saw Jonas in action just down the road at the M&S Bank Arena against Michaela Mayer back in January. She's given us some magnificent entertainment, Natasha Jonas, and is hoping tomorrow night we get more of the same. We know what the plan is here for the promoter. It's a win for Jonas, a win for Price, and then the unification between them, but Ivana Habazin has other ideas.
Well, it is champion versus champion. Ivana, great to see you. Brought some really good energy yesterday, I think everybody agreed. You know, there's a lot of talk about fights in the future. You just wanted to remind everybody, but hold on, I am here and I've got my belt. How confident are you tomorrow that you'll be adding another belt to your collection?
If I wasn't sure, I will not be here. So, you know, like, as I said, I believe in myself. She's a great champion, but, you know, I never duck anybody. Whenever was opportunity to fight, I had a hard way, and I'm still here. So when people write me off, I came back victorious.
I just wonder, I'm trying to get inside your mindset here. Would you not rather that, you know, that people are writing you off? It means maybe if people are focused on the future, that you could perhaps have a little bit of a surprise factor.
Well, that's the plan, right? But, you know, at the end of the day, I just follow my dream. I know what I'm capable of, and it was like, you know, like, if I was listening to people what they were saying, I will retire 2020, but I'm here, so I'm gonna win on Saturday night.
It's probably a question you're going to say no to, but will you just give us one insight into your game plan about how you go about beating Natasha Jonas, or is the message we got to watch and wait for tomorrow?
No, you need to wait and watch for tomorrow.
Okay, wish you all the best of luck. Thank you for talking to us. As I said, champion versus champion, Miss GB. Now look, if this is the last dance in Liverpool tomorrow, I know there's other fights out there and they may well be somewhere else in the UK, but if it is the last dance tomorrow, how do you remain emotionless in front of a passionate Liverpool crowd where you've had some great nights?
Yeah, I just focus on what's in front of me, focus on the fight, and then after I'll experience them emotions, because I've always had amazing support from the city, from my friends and family, and from all my fans as well.
It's never been anything I think you struggled from, but is it going to be one of those moments where you actually have to separate yourself from the occasion? Okay, enjoy it afterwards, but on that ring walk, on the ramp, it is going to have to be about strictly business. And I wonder if there's just any preparation you can do from that. I mean, you've got Joe Gallagher on your shoulder. That's a pretty big aid, isn't it, to keep your mind on the job? But it is going to be, you know, amongst neighbours, friends and family, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, no, it's okay to experience them on the runway. As soon as that bell goes, all the emotions go and you start thinking logical. Your brain's on your task. Your brain is on the task in hand.
You applauded her yesterday where you said, look, everybody needs to just stop, for want of a better language, but I'm a world champion and it's about time I'm treated like one. Away from it all, have you and Joe Gallagher treated prepared and treated her like a world champion and the best version of Habazin you're expecting?
Yeah, of course we have. We've seen it in tough battles against Clarissa, Brackhouse, Terry Harper, and others, to name a few, where she won the world champion the WBC title. And yeah, she's improved. She's got great fundamentals, good jab, good footwork, but just everything that she does, I think we're better. So yeah, that's just what we've got to do: impose my strengths and take advantage of her weaknesses.
Yeah, I think that's never been under question. You are a great example of the fundamentals and someone who's very well schooled. Could that just be the difference tomorrow? Boxing skills will win the day. Will and skill, it's okay, but you've probably got more of it.
We just have to wait and see.
We look forward to it. And all that talk about what's awaiting you in the future, we can talk about that tomorrow if you get over the line?
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
I'll hold you to that. Good luck.
Go on, thank you.
So, the main eventers, all our fighters on the card can, to a degree, relax now because the weight making has been done. It's one of the most difficult, tedious parts of a pro fighter's job, and now they can just refuel, replenish and focus fully on the task in hand tomorrow night. And it's a big task basically for everybody involved, and promoter Ben Shalom joins us. And Ben, how are the stress levels? Because people have been talking this week about the narrative. You've constructed that narrative. That's your job, and it's a great narrative, because if Natasha Jonas does get the win and Lauren Price gets the win, then what an occasion we will have. But I know it's not lost on you how difficult an opponent Habazin is in particular.
Yeah, to be honest, I found myself agreeing with Ivana yesterday. I thought, you know what? It's collision course for a reason. They both signed to fight the winner. If Bexcy Mateus wins tomorrow night, if Ivana Habazin wins tomorrow night, they'll be the ones fighting in the unification. So I liked it. It made me even more excited for Saturday night. She's been over here for 4 weeks training in Amir Khan's gym, and this was the fight that she was insistent on. When you have 3 world champions, they all think they should be prioritised. Natasha will always be the queen. Lauren Price, the gold medalist that's become world champion. But Ivana is an established world champion in her own right, and they all want the best. And in the end, it was like, okay, let's stick everyone together. Let's have a road to undisputed, and it's winner stays on. So this isn't Lauren will face Natasha. This is the winner of Jonas Habazin will face the winner of Price Mateus, and 2 great fights.
Matt, that's it, isn't it? It's a time-honoured format, 2 semi-finals. We've got 2 semi-finals here, and the winners, as Ben said, will stay on. From a British perspective, we know who the British boxing public would prefer to see. We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, like I said, there's no foregone conclusion here in either fight. Neither opponents are gimmies. These are tough world title fights. But you have to plan for the future. Certainly if you're a promoter and a manager, you have to. Trainers and fighters don't want to look past the initial fight. But, of course, in the business of boxing, you've got to be thinking ahead for the next moves and that. So that's why we are where we are here. That's why it's called collision course, and that's why that is the thought process moving forward. But assuming things go to plan, what a fight we'll have later on in the year.
It is so difficult because I've been here before where everyone's scared up and everyone's thinking, right, we've got a bigger main event to come. It doesn't work like that. And this is a serious fight. The main event in particular, I believe, is a 50-50 fight. Every time Natasha fights, I always think, are we going to see signs of her slowing down? So far, no. Against Michaela May, I thought it was a fantastic performance in a very close fight against one of the best welterweights that we have. She came through that. Are we going to see signs this time? If we see even a 10%, 15% drop-off, I think Ivana Habazin is there to take advantage of it. So it's in Natasha's hands. It's going to be an amazing homecoming, an amazing atmosphere. But whether she gets through will be down to her. It really is a 50-50.
Elsewhere on the card, we've got fights for Mark Jeffers and Vidal Riley. We know what is next for Vidal Riley. If he gets a win, that'll be Isaac Chamberlain. But before we let you go, let's just have a chat about Stevie McKenna against Lee Cutler. It's a terrific fight, an absolutely terrific fight. And what I really like about it is we've got 2 boxers there who are totally happy to give it to each other verbally. They're totally happy to really stand on the edge of that line, but they know where the line is. So you can kind of trust them up there on the stage as much as you ever can, that it will just be on the boil but not get out of control. And that's where it's been all week.
Yeah, no, you're right. Just about this week, I would say. I think There was a little moment in something that we filmed a few weeks ago that got a bit over the top, but you are right. I think this week they've been well behaved. I think with Stevie, he just brings it every time, you know, whether it's the verbals, whether it's how he fights, whether it's everything. And to be fair to Lee Cutler, he doesn't like to be prodded, he doesn't like to be poked, and he's standing up for himself, and he deserves to be here as well. I think, look, we talk about the pressure of the world title fights and the millions on the line at the very top of the sport, and there's always pressure, but those guys have usually secured their lives, they've secured their careers. The pressure on this fight, I promise you, for both Stevie and Lee, is enormous. It is winner stays on. It is fighting for their careers. It's fighting for the chance to stay on Sky Sports. It's fighting for the chance to be in those big fights. They're never going to get a bigger opportunity than this, and the loser is going to really feel it, and that's why you're seeing it boil over. That's why you're seeing the pressure. I cannot wait for that fight on Saturday night. I know they've both given everything. I know they've both done absolutely everything they can to get the win. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good summary, Matt, because it occurs to me as well that Cutler's kind of been here before, in a sense, because he had that big fight against Brad Ray. He'd been waiting a long time for an opportunity. It came, and then it was an absolute disaster for him on the night, and he had some dark days after that. So he knows what that is like. McKenna's this kind of bulletproof guy, seemingly, isn't he? He doesn't even entertain the idea of anything other than just getting there, having a massive smash-up and winning. But someone is going to lose.
Yeah, exactly. Look, Cutler's, like you say, he knows how a loss, how far that can set you back, how long it can take to get back to where he is now, if you ever get back there. So he won't be even entertaining the idea of defeat. And of course, McKenna, I don't think he's probably ever entertained the thought of defeating his life ever. You know, he's just an intense character, and I think it's to me, this could be the fight of the night. Do not be shocked. I've said it to you even off camera there. I think this could steal the show.
I think also on paper, you know, a lot of people will say Stevie's probably the slight favourite, but what was surprising to me, Stevie's really hard to match, not only because people can't be bothered with the war that they're going to get in the ring, but the fight week's going to be horrible and it's going to be intense. But Lee Cutler, now he's in the McGuigan gym, all of those boys were begging for this fight. They see a vulnerability in Stevie that they think Lee can exploit, and it's just a really, really interesting fight. And as you said, Lee's had to work so hard to get back here, has had 2 really good wins. He's not going to let it slip on Saturday. It's it's going to be a hell of a fight.
And it's like, you know, it's the pressure on that in itself of how long it will take you to get back here. It's not like boxing, ain't like football. Whoever loses here, he ain't got another game next week.
Yeah, snakes and ladders.
It could take him a couple of years to get back to where he is in his career. So that's the pressure.
It is absolutely snakes and ladders. That's the perfect phrase to describe it. Okay, well, Ben, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Go relax if that's possible.
Cool.
That sums it up. That wraps it up from the weigh-in. Everybody made weight nice and safely. So all of our title fights, our championship fights, they will be ready to go tomorrow night. We get underway at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports Plus, 8:30 on main event, top of the bill. Natasha Jonas against Ivana Habazin in that world title.